I found a visitor in my bedroom. A freaking wasp, Jeff.
Oh.
And we're not talking like, oh, there's a wasp in my room. It built a house on my windowsill. There's like a mud wasp house that was built. And I was cleaning my room, putting some clothes away, and heard a little bzzz off to the side. And I looked, and that little dude was crawling out of the hole, Jeff.
Okay, let me calm your fears just a little bit. If you're telling me it's a dirt dauber, it built it out of mud.
Uh-huh.
The good news is they usually don't bother humans.
Oh, well, now I feel way better.
I'm trying to help.
Don't worry, they're dead. Very, very dead.
What did you do?
It got doused.
I was gonna say, did you drench it?
The whole hive thing has just been doused with it, and I'm hoping it soaks in. I didn't suck them up yet. I need to go get the vacuum and hit it off there. But I was afraid. I was like, what if they're not quite dead yet? And I knock them off, and then they come after me in my own home, Jeff. What do? You just burn it down?
Yes.
Okay, I feel like you're going to be rushing through this.
Nope,
We're not going to get the best out of you because
I'm not.
Your bladder's full.
Have you already started? Like, are we getting
It
that?
is rolling. We can start whenever we want.
Okay, well, just, in case you didn't catch the very front of it, I said, I need to go to the bathroom, and you said, go, and I said, no, I can go.
Let's go.
I got it.
Ridiculous.
I got a big bladder.
Good.
See,
good
this
to know.
Is the stuff we're never going to talk about on the radio, but man, we can do it right here on the podcast.
Where do you want to start today, Jeff? You want to start with something we talked about on the air?
You want to start with that fill my hole?
Yeah. Would you like to explain yourself? Because you can't just say fill my hole. And leave it
sure
there.
you can. I mean, you need the music to go along with it. And if you got a hole that needs some attention.
They're talking about potholes.
In Pennsylvania, you can call and get your fill or your hole filled.
Get your hole filled, yeah.
Fill my hole. That's what they're seriously, when I saw this, I'm like, for real. And yes, I guess it's going to work because it's going to stand out. Fill my hole.
Sex sells, Jeff. That's all I'm saying. It's just, I wonder if that pops up on the call log. Fill my hole. Then you're going to have some more questions.
So what this all is like a pothole project where you report potholes electronically, and then the city will go and fill your hole.
In all honesty, Oklahoma could use this program. Am I wrong?
No. And I got to tell you, at first I thought, I cannot believe you came up with this name, but maybe because it is so just out there, it's a great idea, because they even said if it's like, I don't know how else to say this, a big hole, that some holes might require a little more TLC. It just sounds so wrong.
The marketing, they did a great job on this. It reminds me, do you remember when Cinemark came out with the D-Box?
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
Actually, I did tweet out, Cinemark, you know what you did, with a picture of the D-Box, and they liked it. So yes, they did know what they did.
It sends you down so many like thoughts that, like, oh, okay, so now we have professional hole filler.
Can I get that on business card? It doubles when you're at the bar. You can just hand out, here's my number.
Wow.
Professional hole filler.
This is taking place in Millersburg, Pennsylvania. And yeah, the whole pothole fixing program, fill my hole.
Potholes. Yeah. Maybe not Google that.
I still haven't got you to be able to say it. I want you to say it.
No, I did say it. No,
say it.
I don't want to. See, Jeff has buttons in here, and he will take my words out of context and clip them and then play them back as he pleases. So if I say that phrase, I'm just going to have to hear it all the time, and I'm not going to do it. All Jeff.
Right. Hot and ready.
I wanted to throw out there, this is just a random, but it was very terrifying. I found a visitor in my bedroom. A little buggy visitor. One that you've had problems with before. A freaking wasp, Jeff.
Oh.
And we're not talking like, oh, there's a wasp in my room. It built a house on my windowsill. There's like a mud wasp house that was built. And I was cleaning my room, putting some clothes away, and heard a little bzzz off to the side. And I looked, and that little dude was crawling out of the hole, Jeff.
Okay, let me calm your fears just a little bit. If you're telling me it's a dirt dauber, it built it out of mud. The good news is they usually don't bother humans. Okay. I mean, they can sting because that's what they do. So what they do is they build this nest. This is going to gross you out. They lay their larvae in there. They sting spiders, and it doesn't kill them. It just paralyzes them. They put them in that nest for the larva to eat.
Ew, Jeff.
I know.
Why are you doing this
Well, I'm trying to tell you, it's not like a typical wasp. It's not like it's going to hunt you down and sting you.
Oh, well, now I feel way better.
I'm trying to help.
Don't worry, they're dead. Very, very dead.
What'd you do? What did you do?
Oh, this is not the first time a wasp has made its way into my home, so I keep that spray available, and it got doused.
I was gonna say, did you drench it?
The whole hive thing has just been doused with it, and I'm hoping it soaks in. I didn't suck them up yet. I need to go get the vacuum and hit it off there. But I was afraid. I was like, what if they're not quite dead yet? And I knock them off, and then they come after me in my own home, Jeff. What do? You just burn it down?
Yes.
If you have a wasp invasion inside your home?
Oh, man.
Can you imagine?
No, I cannot. And I don't want to because I'm with you. Yeah, I burn it down or for sure moving. Home for sale right now.
How do I solve this problem? Is there a crack? How do they get in? I don't know. I just can't have this happen anymore.
They're a lot like spiders too. So think about it. They're fast enough that even when you're just coming in the door, they can get in and you don't even realize it.
But this is the third year in a row I've had one. But this is the first year I have found an actual like mud shelter for them. And it was crawling out. I can't.
Okay, this podcast is not sponsored by this, but have you tried calling Terminex or Orkin or somebody like that?
I can try calling my landlord.
Maybe you should. Just have them come out, do some treatment. You'll be good.
John, if you're listening, please help. Or come over and kill these wasps yourself.
There you go.
I don't want to do this anymore. Anyway, that was my whole story. My shoulder's intact, though. You'll be happy to learn there was no swatting at the wasp. I just went straight to the spray.
So I'll let you in on that inside joke there. If you don't know, 2 summers ago, I swatted at a yellow jacket and threw my rotator out. Had to have surgery. Was out for like 6 weeks.
Yeah. So we don't recommend that. Just get the spray next time. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. That's probably a good idea.
We started talking about something we found online. It turned into a pretty long discussion.
Well, and I said, so maybe let's talk about it because at first I wasn't understanding what they were saying. Okay, so what we're talking about is Match's annual Singles in America report found the big trend is using AI to help land dates.
Right.
And I get that.
Which I was thinking, we've seen a lot of stuff about how they can help with your prompts and things like that, good responses. So that's what I thought you meant initially.
Right. And they say, by the way, that's up 333% from last year.
It makes sense. A lot of people need some help with their prompts.
But what got me confused and got us talking about this, and I said, okay, let's talk about this on the podcast. 1 in 6 have even used AI as a fill-in romantic companion, and people literally believe that is cheating. So what I was not really getting was if you're just asking questions like, do I look sad? I don't even know what questions you would ask.
Right.
I was like, how is this cheating? And you kind of had to had to educate me.
Well, we
went
into a long conversation because you can chat with AI bots that can be anybody. I mean, you can say, talk to me as if you are fill in the blank, whoever your favorite person is, and they'll respond as though they're that person based on the information it can pull off of the internet. So, I mean, the fact that you can pick a specific person, and I think the reason I do think it is emotionally cheating, or it can be emotionally cheating because you can really get involved. And I think where it's a slippery slope is, I think on a cognitive level, you get, this is AI, this isn't a real person. You start talking to it as though, I know I'm talking to AI. But the more and more you talk to this AI and it gets to know you and it's developing more of a personality, does it blur that line? Because we're all talking to people online all day long that we never see their faces. We interact with people that are just, for lack of just floating out in the internet. They may not even exist for all we know.
True.
So I think that disassociation is what allows people to be really mean online that wouldn't be mean in real life. Because you're like, oh, it's not a real person, even though it is. Like that line just gets blurred online. Who is real? What is real? And I think the more you talk to something, it just starts feeling more and more real. And because our brains are used to these interactions with people that we never see but we interact with, does it really become some sort of emotional relationship?
See, and that's where I was, because when I first told you I was confused with this, I was like you and I talk about a lot of things.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, we have a line that we don't cross.
Right. I mean, there are certain things that you're only going to discuss with your wife, and there's other things that you'll discuss with me as your friend. And I think everybody kind of knows that naturally. But when you're online, you still know that this is AI. So like my secrets are safe with this thing, this person, perhaps. It's such a blurred line.
It's just honestly, this is one of the things with AI I don't think I ever saw coming. I understand it because the whole emotional support, depending on how deep you go and what you're expressing to AI, I now understand how that would be cheating. Because if you were expressing that to a person, it would be emotional cheating.
Right. And you, whether it's one-sided or not, your emotions are real on your side, no matter what you're interacting with. So this is really happening. This is really reality, even if it's just you and a robot. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, it also blew my mind when you said what you said about the chatbots, that like if I wanted to chat with Scarlett Johansson, because that's the one you threw out, that I could. That is just, that's mind-boggling to me.
Yeah. It's
like
a weird sci-fi movie. But it also, okay, as a single, that makes me think the pool is already not great. There's a lot of people that are interested in dating. And if you're really just after the interaction, because I know we read a lot of people on OnlyFans sign up and they just have conversations. They're just lonely.
Yes.
So you can do this with AI. Does this affect the dating pool? Do some people just get out of the dating pool because they're having their emotional needs met through AI, whether that's through a chat or visually or what? I mean, like you could potentially, it's going to move into, you could video chat with an AI person.
Oh my gosh,
you're putting a face with a voice. And it would be easy to fall in love with that person because they're getting to know you just like a human would, learning more and more about you, and that will adapt. It's not like a human where it's going to keep its opinion necessarily. It will adapt to your likes and your preferences and those things over time, which humans are just susceptible to having affection for something like that. Even if you see like cute little robot dogs, or you're just like, oh, so cute.
True.
I mean, we humanize them naturally.
The scary thing is, now that you've said all that, my mind just literally said you could create your own, and I hate to say this because
it's nothing that somebody hasn't thought of already. Oh, yeah,
You would be able, especially when you're talking about the video chat with the way everything is going with artificial intelligence.
For sure.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to affect a lot of things. It's, I mean, I personally believe there's not going to be any substitute for actual human interaction.
Amen.
We can try and we can try and we can try, and it will work to a certain extent, but I think it is actually just going to cause society crumbling, and it's not going to be a fulfilling thing. You have to have physical touch. You have to be able to interact with people in real life. At some point, this is just not going to meet the need. But in the meantime, what does this look like? What does this do? How does society respond to it? It's kind of a big, deep question for this podcast.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So see why we moved it over here off air versus on air?
You're right.
Because trust me, our bosses would be going, quit talking about this on the radio.
But this is truly stuff that behind the scenes, we just kind of kick around. We thought it was an interesting philosophical question. We don't really have any answers, but we're welcome. No. You want to throw in any thoughts that you maybe something we haven't even
I'd love to hear.
thought about yet, because it's going to get weird, Jeff. Weird.
Hey, real quick before we get to the card deal, have you heard? And I may have asked this on another podcast, but we just played it again, and it's so much fun. Have you heard of Uno No Mercy?
No, you were telling me about it though. This is because you're so competitive and you're like,
again, I am. This podcast is not sponsored, but I'm telling you, it is so much. It has a draw 10 card in there, and you're by the rules able to stack draw cards.
Yep.
And if you end up with 25 cards in your hand, you're automatically done.
Oh, you are? Well, that actually is a bit of a relief to me, because I'm like, well, how are you going to hold all those? You just look ridiculous.
Yes.
You're going to have to start making piles.
there is so much fun. That's one of the fun part. There's like if you play a 0, then you switch cards with everybody in the direction of the play. And then if you have a 7, you get to, like if you called Uno and I have a 7 I can play, I get to change cards. I decide who I want to change cards with. And so I can change with you and give you my 20 and I take your 1.
Tricky.
I'm telling you, it's worth going and getting play. It's Uno No Mercy.
The fact that you brought it up, does that mean that you won?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm just checking.
No,
it's still fun when you lose?
Yeah, it's still fun when you lose. And it's so fun to hear, especially if you get the family around the table, man. It is fun to hear what's happening.
Let me know. Did anybody call anybody a mean name?
No.
As a funny.
No, I know what you're saying, but it was
making sure.
Like I will say, my granddaughter Olivia, she did Uno, and somebody, I can't remember who it was, but anyway, did that swap. And she's like, no, I was going to it was so funny.
Okay.
Yeah,
Was it called again?
Uno, No Mercy.
No Mercy.
It's worth playing.
Okay. What if I'm already losing all the time? I don't know that I want to get attacked.
Okay, maybe not.
Okay. But hopefully Beth doesn't hear this. It's another thing for her to beat me at, is what she'll say.
Beth's very competitive.
She is, and she beats me in my own home all the time, and it is rude. Okay. We're moving on to tell me more. And I pulled my card first.
Okay.
What's a decision you once made that you'd make differently today? That's a tough one.
That is kind of tough. Yeah.
Because I try not to take back my decisions. I try to learn something from them so I can stomach my bad decisions.
Right. Honestly, I would say, because every once in a while this still pops into my head, I would say when I had my football ending surgery the first time, I toured again in rehab. I would make the decision to not be so competitive and follow the directions like I should have,
so that I
might have been able to recover better. And I remember Coach Moore said, if you can rehab, we'll honor your scholarship. But when I toured again,
game over.
Yeah, it was done. So yeah, that's what I do. I would make the decision to not be so competitive.
That butterfly effect, though.
Yeah.
You may not have me, and that would be a real shame for you.
May not have ever met you. May not have ever met my wife. All of that. But yes, that's
okay.
That's what I would say.
That's a good one. I think I would have dated more in my youth. I waited a long time to start dating. And I think it would have been good to try to figure out some of that stuff out earlier.
Did you do it by choice, or just weren't into it? I mean, why did you wait?
I had a small pool of people because my school was very small, so I just didn't know a lot of guys. And I do remember getting asked out a few times. I think I was scared. I didn't know really what that entailed. I think I should have just jumped in and tried a few dates. Really not a big deal at that age. Like, what does it entail? Going to dinner with a parent sitting at another table. Like, I should have just given it a shot. I didn't start dating until like my early 20s, like 23, like real late.
Yeah.
Really, really late.
Yeah.
And I think I would have learned better had I just tried some, dates when I was a bit earlier.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
I learned something about you.
Hey, it's weird when, my friends come to me and mention things that I said on the podcast. I'm like, I didn't know you knew that about. Oh, I said it in public.
Yes,
that's right. I forgot. I told everybody that.
All right. What's a little thing other people do that always means a lot to you? That's easy.
Okay, go then.
I'm one of those that words of affirmation.
That is 100% your love language.
Yeah. Goes way further than anybody could ever really understand. It means more to me for you to give me that word of affirmation, whether it's in just like a business partnership, kind of like you and I have, a romantic part, whatever it is.
Yes, you do. And you were very good about giving words of affirmation. That's how I was like, that's got to be his love language, because he gives words of affirmation all the time. So that must be what you want to receive. Well, unfortunately for you, that's a low one for me. I'm not great at words of affirmation.
Well, but here's the thing. I think everybody, whether it's your love language or not, when you get those words of affirmation, how good that makes you. Like, I have said this all along. If bosses were better about words of affirmation, you might have a way happier and more productive workforce than you could ever imagine that doesn't cost you any money. Money is good, but I'm just saying.
Yes. I just fall back. Words of affirmation are important. Not saying that. I think I get issues with words of affirmation because you can talk all day. And if you don't back it up with any action, all you're doing is talking at me. So at some point, my employer can say good job over and over again. But at some point, that needs to equal money, because that's company speak for worth. So at some point, the rubber has to meet the road with your affirmation and back it up with something other than that. But yes.
Totally. I'm not saying, because you do have to back it up. I'm not saying that's all you could do. I'm just saying it would definitely bridge that gap before the rubber meets the road.
And I think if you are someone like me who is uncomfortable giving and receiving words of affirmation, we need to practice that more. It's very valuable. I mean, everybody needs to have words of affirmation. Yeah. It's a muscle I need to flex more. It just makes me feel uncomfortable.
Flex it, girl.
What was the question again?
I already put the card away.
Oh, great. A little thing that people do that always means a lot to you.
Yeah.
Anticipating my problems and fixing them ahead of time.
Wow.
I'm a pretty routine person.
No.
You may have noticed this about
No.
me. So if I have a partner, you're going to know kind of what I have going on. It's pretty routine. And if you see that things are piling up and you're like, well, I know that she usually does the dishes about this day and she hasn't got around to that. She must be a little stressed out. Like if you can just notice, hey, because I don't ask for help well, but it means so much to me when somebody's like, hey, I just noticed that you needed this, so I just did it. I'm like, and it could be the smallest thing. It makes me feel so seen when somebody's just like, oh, I noticed that you seem to be kind of drowning over there. I just thought I'd throw you a lifeline. I'm like, you saw me drowning? That's amazing.
Okay,
Thank you for the help.
I am glad you just shared this because it explains a lot. Like there's a couple of things over here that we do on work that has nothing to do with what you guys hear. And a couple of times I've said, I'm going to take that off your plate. And you have reacted like I just gave you like $1 million. And I'm like, I'm just trying to help you out here.
It can be the smallest
this
thing.
explains your reaction.
It is one thing off of my plate. It's one thing off my to-do list. It's one less thing to worry about. And it means a lot when I didn't even have to ask. The fact that you were intuitive enough to see, hey, she seems to need some help. I'm just going to do that. I just care about her and I'm going to help. I want her to be better. That means the world to me. So yes, I want the words of affirmation, but if you're not doing the actions, you're not really trying to help me out here. You're trying to boost my ego and I don't need that. That's a waste of my time.
Yeah. I'm glad I learned this because now I'm going to be even more vigilant about this kind of stuff. Helping you out.
Yeah. Everybody listen up. All my friends listen up. If you want to just anticipate my needs and meet them, that'd be great.
Not just meet them, fix them. Did you catch that?
Fix my problems, would you? Also, another big love language, just make a decision for me. If I told you I don't care, that means I do not have an opinion on it. If I had one, I'd give it to you. If you're a trusted person, I'm going to tell you if I really have an opinion, but I probably don't. So just make a decision for me. That's the best gift.
Hey, I hate to do this, but Steve O'Brien needs to come in and,
all right,
and do
well,
a radio
we're done
show.
Anyway. Everybody's been done listening to us for a while.
Yeah.
It's been like 20 minutes. They're tapping out.
Yeah, we've gone longer than this before, but yeah, we're out of time and the room is needed.
Okay, bye.
By the way, don't forget to fill your hole.